I'll be 100% honest.
Mhm.
I came into this, not that I'm old now,
Mhm.
but when I came into this, I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like I had this attitude of I'm gonna show everyone.
Yeah.
That's not how this world works.
What's up, everybody? It's Dave Drakes from the Collective Experience, and we are back for another TCE interview. I'm pretty stoked because I got my buddy Alex Ratner on, a fellow FXR offender. You see us both dripped out in FXR. And yeah, he's got a really cool background, and I'm really cool to get some question thrown at this dude and get it kicked off. Alex, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and listen to me babble on for a little bit.
No, thanks for having me on.
No, dude, I appreciate it. You've been a big supporter of the Collective Experience and stuff. And we've been chatting for a little while, so
I'm shocked I don't have a shirt on right now.
I know. We'll get you. We'll get you some more some cool.
I already got 4
mechanic shirts. I actually have some that look pretty similar to the pit shirt you have on, so I'll try to wrangle up some pit shirt mechanic shirts and stuff and get you out a sample and see what you think. So
perfect.
We'll make it work. So for the few people out there who don't know who you are, Alex, give us a brief background on yourself and your stint in moto.
So I've been around moto for a while. I'm getting technically old, and when it comes to motocross stuff, turning 30 this year, so it's a big hurdle for me. I'm still mentally not there.
Dude, I hear you.
It's not an easy hurdle to jump. I'd rather be jumping Supercross triples than this, honestly.
Yep.
And that's not something anyone that knows me wants to see me do. But realistically, I started riding when I was 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things, like, I always loved it, but at the same time, my family sat me down when I was young and was like, listen, this is not how you're making a living.
Yep.
This is just not how this is going to work.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, right. I think most people on this side of the business has been there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually, oddly enough, very good at soccer. So I played soccer for a very long time. Ended up going to college on a scholarship and got hurt, brain injury.
Oh no!
So I had to drop out of college. Spent around 2 years recovering from that, and still have a lot of post-concussion syndrome stuff. But all of that experience, it ultimately ended up making me realize life is very short. It's about what you make of it. Definitely. So I hit that point where it's like, okay, I could be miserable and depressed and want it to end for the rest of my life, or I could do what I love. And that's what led me back into moto. I've always been a fan. I've always been involved to some extent. But growing up, I rode maybe like 3 times a year, if that. It wasn't until I got my driver's license that I actually started riding. But started riding and then got involved on the more business side of things. Ended up actually starting a race team. We raced team, literally like a couple guys in a camper with a little bit of organization. And we went up to Canada and we did fairly well.
That's awesome. A lot of people don't realize how cool the Canadian series is. Like,
I loved it.
It's so laid back. It's so open. The riders are freaking phenomenal. Commentators are great. I've been ranting about how cool Canada is for years and years. So, it's slept on a lot, man. They have a lot of cool stuff going on.
That's 100% accurate. Like, honestly, that's something I really tell all of my guys that I work with now. Because I've got a couple of younger kids that I work with, as far as on the management side or on the coaching side, whatever it might be. And when you're struggling to make that transition, if you're in the A class or like a good national B level rider, go up to Canada.
Yeah.
Go make a little bit of money, get gate drops, get the experience, because it's a lot different environment. It's a lot more friendly. Everyone's not out to kill each other. So you have that experience of, yes, this is a pro national, but at the same time, like, we're not trying to take each other's lunch money.
Yes, exactly.
If I was in the States, there's no way I'd be talking to Brett Metcalf on the, like, in staging. There's no way.
Yeah. God, what a legend, man. Freaking Brett Metcalf, dude. That's so
Oh
solid.
God.
So getting back to your stint for management in MX, what was that like? Because we have a lot of people that are, hey man, I want to eventually become a team manager, start that organization process, and go that business route. What was it like being a team manager?
Incredibly difficult.
Okay.
There was a lot more into it than I ever thought possible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As far as managing personalities, managing the money. The money was a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, like, I'm not going to tell you the amount that I spent,
Mm-hmm.
but I spent literally every penny I had.
Jeez.
And more so. Like, I'm still paying it back.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, and a lot of people, they don't realize that, like, it's a lot goes into it. We talk a lot with Jason from SGB Racing. He employs AJ Cat, Jeremy Smith, Alex Ray and stuff. And man, the first thing he tells you is like, hey, this is so cool, but oh my gosh, if I would have known all this stuff was involved.
And I told him this years ago, because he contacted me when I started my team, and that's how we got in touch.
Yeah. Yep.
When I started my team, Jason contacted me like, hey, I really want to start a team, blah blah blah. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
It's tough. I think people think it's like when you look at like the F1 grid, right? And you see like all the team managers like coming out of Ferraris and, tons of money talking to the riders and stuff. They think it's like that. And it's like, no, dude, that is a complete, it's not it, man. You don't see the whole thing. It's a lot involved.
And I'll be 100% honest. I came into this, not that I'm old now, but when I came into this, I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like I had this attitude of, I'm going to show everyone.
Yeah.
That's not how this world works. That's not how it works.
No.
And yes, a lot of my ideas were accurate, and a lot of things I'm now seeing other people do. But at the same time, it's about how you execute everything, how you develop everything.
Yeah.
And while I feel like I did a very solid job, at the same time, it came down to I was doing too much too soon.
Gotcha.
And ultimately, that's what kind of led me to where I am now, because I learned from all those mistakes. And that's something I'll never regret. I'll never take back. I wish I had that money? Absolutely. But it's not something I'd ever change, because I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I really would.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And I know, like you said, managing personalities can be like kind of daunting. What's like one really funny or most like crazy memory that you have from being a team manager?
I almost pulled my headset up.
Yeah, you got to pick one.
God.
Only one.
Okay, easy, super easy.
Yeah,
super easy. I'm not blowing anyone out here.
Okay.
So I had a couple of very interesting personalities on my program. So I actually had Logan Carno at one point.
Okay, cool. Logan is he's a character.
And I'm gonna say had Logan Carno in air quotes, because technically he was still riding for PRMX, but riding out of my truck.
Oh boy.
I got Julian and I don't get along because of this.
Really? Okay. Moto drama.
Not even, because I'm nobody.
Okay.
So like if you asked him who I am, he has no clue.
Okay.
But so that happened, and it just kind of devolved from there. So it ended up, there was a lot of just random stupid arguments. We're all arguing one day, and suddenly my phone rings, and it's a California area code. This is real weird. I decided to pick up the phone. It's Ivan Tedesco.
Okay, wow, that's pretty cool.
He suddenly wants help with his MX Academy that he was doing with Tommy Hahn. And he called me.
What?
It's like, why are you calling me? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
My brother had done a photo shoot with him, and apparently he had got my number, and things kind of went from there. But as things with the team sort of changed, it was okay, well, obviously if Ivan's calling me, I can't say no to Ivan Tedesco.
Yeah, you kind of got to. You gotta go hang out with Hot Sauce, man.
I mean, he was on MTV Cribs. I feel like that's enough.
Exactly. That's cool, man. That's pretty awesome. I think if Tedesco called my phone, I'd be shaking from the shock of,
Oh, I literally was.
Yeah, one of the guys I used to have
literally
had him on my wall, from the time I was like 9 till
he still is upstairs on my wall.
That's awesome, dude.
I will randomly send him a text like, is this awkward?
That's awesome, man. That's super cool. I know you work with a lot of cool companies, man, but one that we kind of have in common is FXR, dude. And
yeah, you're repping the hat right now.
Yeah, dude. They've been such huge supporters. Andy, Don, Brad have just been so instrumental, so helpful to the growth of the program, helping out all of our interns, all of our fans that come through, and just spreading the joy of moto and allowing us to do what we do. And we're huge supporters of FXR and just very thankful.
We appreciate that.
Very, very thankful. How did you get hooked up with FXR, man? And what's that ride been like for you?
So it's been the most incredible experience of my life.
Yeah.
I owe everything to Andy White, truly. It was a very odd meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I met Andy White through Dylan Wright.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So we were up in Canada,
mm-hmm.
and I had Michael Fowler riding for me at the time.
Mm.
So we were staying with Dylan Wright. I met Andy White. We started talking, and at that time we talked about FXR coming on as a title sponsor because we planned on upping everything we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, there was discussions of, okay, like, how do we move forward? And Andy and I were talking on a very regular basis.
Yeah.
And then even post team stuff, Andy and I kept in contact, and it kind of just kept going from there to the point where, like, I don't like to call myself like a rep or a brand ambassador. I'm kind of using the air quotes for both.
Yeah. Because
I technically do both. Technically, I'm the rep for Long Island and New York City.
Okay.
I don't control a major area, but I try to stay involved in everything in the New York area. And truly, I bleed FXR. Like, literally, I would not leave FXR for anything.
Yeah.
Andy saw something in me, which I still don't understand. But he saw something in me, and I can't thank him enough for all he's done.
Yep.
Because I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for him.
No, definitely. And I can share that sentiment too. When I approached him with, what the program was, and mind you, I think I don't even think I had any FXR guys on the team at that point, but I just knew I liked the gear and I heard great things about them. And I approached him. He's like, hey, yeah, you don't have any FXR guys, but this sounds really cool and I want to support it. And then he's like, hey, where are you from? And I was like, I'm from Connecticut, grew up racing in New England, New York, all that stuff. And he was like, oh man, I've been racing out there forever. I got stories for days. And like, man, like the background that guy has, holy shit, dude, that was
manager of factory KTM up there,
dude, so
everything,
so cool. And like
no one has any clue.
Yeah, no, and he's just so humble, so quiet, but he's just got this massive background in moto. And he was listing down all the guys that he knows and is like, worked with or raced against, that like were my heroes growing up racing in New England, dude. Like, like John Dowd and LaRusso and Barton and Treadwell,
Cohen.
Yeah, yep, all those guys. Yeah, and you grew up not too far from me, so you know all the names. So
what year were you born?
1990.
Oh, my year short.
Dating myself right now, dude. I'm old.
I'm 91.
Dude, I feel so old. And actually, it's like December of 1990, so like the end of 90. So
October 91.
Okay, yeah. So not a full year, but we're getting there.
We're getting there. But yeah, I feel old these days. It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely insane. I remember talking to my dad, and he was like, when your dad's like, hey, come watch some motos, watch all the big guys do it. I was like an 80s or something. And we're watching. I'm like, why are we watching the old guys? This is like the 25 plus class. They're not going anywhere. Like, why would I watch those? And dude, literally now I'm like, oh my god, like I'm that guy now. Like
that's me.
Like, yeah. I thought all those guys were that classes were washed up. I'm like, oh, dude, I care about the highest I'll go is like schoolboy, and like after that, you're done, dude. Your career's over.
So I never thought I'd see the day that I was like super stoked about event guy. And then today,
tell me about it.
We just announced Scott Sheik. We're in FXR.
That's so awesome, man. That's so
like
cool.
the legend of
Yep,
New York,
yep.
Scott Sheik.
That's awesome.
1997 High Point winner wearing FXR, and I could not be happier.
That's awesome.
Like when he randomly texted me one morning, I'm like, how does Scott Sheik have my phone number? This doesn't make sense. This is weird.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. That's so hilarious. But yeah, shout out to FXR and all you guys do, man. It's phenomenal, and we're so grateful for it. You and I have been chatting a little bit about a cool project you have coming up that is going to really put some highlights on some guys from the Northeast area, man. Like, tell us a little bit about that. I'm excited to get that out.
Yeah, the best way for me to describe it is if we think about motocross as a whole, right? So we've always been very pro centralized. So marketing, advertising has always been based upon the pros.
Yeah.
But if you go to a local track, like if you're, let's say you're 10 years old again, right? Who do you have more of a connection with? Eli Tomac or your local pro?
Definitely local pro. I can tell you that from, yes.
That's
pro.
a no-brainer.
Yeah.
That's literally a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So my whole goal here is to highlight all the local influencers, local pros. I don't care if you're on a mini bike, on a big bike, actually qualifying for nationals. Like, so for this video project that we're working on, we've got a whole list of guys. We got 10 guys. Everyone from Hunter Stemple, who qualified for Southwick last year, all the way down to Christian Johnson on a 65. The Rosenberg family, who was just down at the Mini O's, did fairly well in the B class.
Yeah.
We're covering the whole basis. But we're doing FXR kids / guys within the area that I've been working with for a couple of years, but are involved in the local area.
Yeah.
So by creating this project with them, we're not only highlighting the brand itself, but we're giving them a platform to promote themselves.
Yeah.
And it creates that draw. So at the end of the day, this video is going to come out. We want people to see it, appreciate it, recognize that we're giving back to this community itself. And then post this video, we're going to be doing a couple other things. We're going to be doing events. We're going to be doing things like that. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's building that relationship between the brand and the end consumer.
Yes.
And that's something I feel like has been really missing a lot in this industry lately. And my whole goal is to create a way to ultimately bridge that gap between the two, but not create a financial burden for any one given company.
Yes. That's awesome, man. That's super cool. I mean, especially, like I said, growing up not too far from where, the area you're trying to highlight, like that sounds super cool to me. And I wish when I was growing up that we had these really cool videos focused solely on guys that, like you said, that I could relate to more so. I mean, because it's so tough I'm never going to see Jeremy McGrath. I'm never going to see Pastrana. I'm never going to see Emig, and Larocco and all these guys. So yeah, to be able to watch a video with guys that like I can go to my local track and see and stuff like that, I think that's going to resonate so much with, the younger class of moto kids,
exactly,
60s, 80s, as well as guys that are like, you know what,
the vet guys,
the vet guys too. Yeah. And they're going to feel a sense of ownership and belonging, and like, they're going to feel like they're represented.
Exactly. It comes down to that mix of hometown pride and relatability.
Yes.
So if you see someone that's nationally highlighted, whether it be through FXR itself or through another company we're working with, because we have a long list of companies we're working with.
Yeah.
If you see someone that's highlighted on that national scale, who's not going to go say hi?
Yeah, exactly.
Go say hi. You talk to them.
Yeah.
If they have something great to say, like, you're going to listen to it.
Yes, definitely.
And if they can also offer you a discount, like, I don't care if it's 5%, 10%, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
If they say, hey, like, I appreciate you, here's a code. The 9-year-old may be buying literally everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And it's not, it ultimately doesn't come down to the money. Like, yes, the sales matter to the company, but it's not about the money. It's about recognizing the relationship.
Yep. 100%. And that level of interaction and connectedness that you are to your consumer. I stand behind that 100%. It's what we try to do at the collective all the time, is really garner those relationships and really,
and that's why I've supported your brand.
Yeah. Which And we do beyond appreciate all the support and stuff over the years. The program or the project you're doing is a huge undertaking. Who are you working with, and like who's helping you throughout this this venture?
So ultimately, it comes down to a very small staff.
Okay.
So I've got myself. I'm literally doing 90% of everything. I've got my buddy Justin over at Detour Media, who is filming, editing, and doing half of the directing, because ultimately it's him and I doing the directing.
Wow. Yeah. It's a lot.
On the riders end, it's myself and Hunter Stemple, who is technically the head of riders right now.
Yep.
He's basically controlling them. So we're literally breaking this down from a sun up to sun down shoot, where you're hitting this turn 12 times until I tell you you can move on.
Oh, good Lord.
They're going to hate me at the end of the day.
Yeah. And again, another thing that people think is that all these promo shots and cool moto videos, they take a minute to edit. You just do one corner. I'm telling you, I've been there for just a promo shoot when we did the James Stewart replica for Straight Rhythm.
That came out gorgeous.
Oh, dude, man, it was we lucked out with that one. We lucked out for sure. Everything's came together perfect. But dude, I'm telling you, one berm for an hour, 2 hours maybe, then we could go on to another one. Then this one was 2 or 3 hours, and another one, then the whoops, and it was literally 2 days of just riding the same, like sectioning. You know what I mean? Over and over and over. And man, it's a lot, but this is what goes in. I can only imagine what it takes to like film an Avengers movie. Like how many times Captain America throwing his shield and catching it for one shot. You know what I mean?
Thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, good. Dude, that's a lot. So the fact that you have such a small group, that's pretty phenomenal.
And that's why I'm keeping it small, because ultimately it's the people that I'm working with, the people that I trust to actually get the job done. Because at the end of the day, yes, we have a job to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're taking their time out of their racing schedule, their riding schedule, their practice schedule. Because this is mid-qualifier season.
Yeah. Yep.
For 90% of people.
Yep.
So for them to dedicate 2 to 3 days, I can't ask that of them.
Yeah.
So we're doing everything in 1.5 days.
Ooh, good Lord. Eesh, that's a lot. That is a lot.
So we are shooting a lot of it prior to. We're doing a lot of intro stuff. I'm literally having my cinematographer, Justin, from Detour Media, stay at my house for like 4 days, him and his girlfriend. And we are doing everything under the sun that we possibly can. And the day of, everyone that pulls into that parking lot, because we're locking the gate, everyone that pulls into that parking lot gets a script. You're here at this time.
Yeah.
You're doing this shot at this time.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Good Lord. God bless you. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. It'd be cool to, if you ever do some cool vlogging or behind the scenes of the what it took to get there, man. I would definitely.
And we will.
That's gonna be super cool. So what are some of your goals moving forward, man? Like, looking at till the end of 21 and then going into 22, 23. What are some things that you are gonna be getting into and people are gonna be working with and stuff like that?
I have some lofty goals, honestly.
Okay.
So the way I've been viewing this project is a way to reconnect moto to its core. And that's something I feel like that needs to expand beyond our region.
Yeah.
So I'm working with a lot of great companies such as hopefully yourself, FXR, M1 Strong, which is actually used to be based out of the East Coast, but now is based out of California.
Yeah.
Our Jerky.
Cool.
And the list goes on and on. Like Octane Films is going to be involved.
Yeah.
It continues. Res Beverages is going to be huge. So that's actually a New Jersey-based beverage company that has stepped up massively.
Yeah.
They're actually coming on site to talk to the riders, to help us out with product. I honestly can't thank them enough for all they're doing. And honestly, beverage-wise, like I literally am drinking one right now. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's not a plug. That's just they sent me a case, and I have gone through the entire thing in almost a day and a half.
Oh man, it's like Kenny with his Red Bull, man. He just downs.
Oh no, I don't even. I don't think Kenny could keep up.
Oh, that's funny.
I've got all these great companies, and I'm gonna call them partners, honestly, because they're invested just as much as I am.
Yeah. That's awesome. When you can have cohesion like that and really feel like the people who support you are part of it too. Nothing better than that, man. That's awesome. And that's why I think ultimately it's gonna be successful.
Exactly. And moving forward, my whole goal here is to create that relationship between these brands, the market itself.
Yeah.
Because if this is successful on this small scale that is Long Island motocross, so yes, we have Justin Cooper. Yeah, we're about to have Nick Romano. But still, Long Island is not a big deal on the national scale in motocross. But if we can make something happen here, this is something I can see kind of moving beyond that.
Yeah.
Whether it be kind of similar to what Fox did when they developed the Instinct boot. They did that boot tour for demos and stuff like that. I related similar to that.
That's awesome, man. That's super cool. Like I said, I'm looking forward to all the stuff you're pumping out. I'm really looking forward to this project with some really cool like local riders, and I think it's gonna blow up. And like I said before, I think if I would have had something like that for New England and New York included, man, that would be phenomenal. That would be so phenomenal. 10-year-old Dave would be just squealing like a schoolgirl, man.
Hey, 30-year-old Dave can still be squealing like a schoolgirl.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. Alex, what you're doing is phenomenal, man. Big supporter of it. And I'm looking forward to seeing that thing just kick ass. I want to thank you for giving me the time to just chat and be a little bit of background for people out there, and just dig into the brain of yourself and what you have coming up for us. And I'm really excited for it. We're definitely gonna have to do this again and do like a unveiling or something of the project when it comes out. And
we've got a ton to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Thank you so much, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. We're going to be linking Alex's Instagram below this. Check out all the things that he's got going on, as well as FXR. These guys have done amazing things in the industry. They've done great things for both myself and Alex. And if you guys want to rock with the best brand out there, hit up FXR. The team is great. Customer service is A1. And I'm telling you, you're going to look good. If they can make my fat butt look good in a bike, I know they can help you guys out. Check them out.
Your butt Alex looks great.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for the time, man. This is super fun. We're going to do it again soon.
Thank you very much. And anyone that needs clothing, please buy the Collective Experience clothing.
Definitely, yeah. We'll link the merch below. Check that out too. All right, Alex. Thanks, man. I appreciate the time.
Thanks, Dave.